Among all the concern about Joe Biden and whether he should step aside and let somebody else run, etc., we're forgetting who we're up against. On the other side, running for the Republicans, is Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Now, Donald Trump, 34-time convicted felon, facing criminal indictments in 2 other jurisdictions to the tune of, I think it's 20-some felonies. He could potentially be having another jurisdiction worth of felonies added for 40 more. He has been found liable of defamation twice. And in that defamation ruling, they found that he was credibly found to have sexually assaulted E. Jean Carroll, owes her about $91 million, was found civilly liable of about $355 million plus penalties and interest, currently sitting at about $455 million and growing, for civil fraud, for falsifying his property values and using shady things to get loans, falsifying his tax records and stuff. One of the things he did in that tax record thing is he'd file his taxes and put a disclaimer saying, well, these things may not be entirely accurate. You have to do your own research. Well, that's not how you file your taxes. But he's found civilly liable there, convicted 34 times. Let's see. He is twice impeached. He's listed in the Epstein files as Doe 174, where there is credible eyewitness testimony from girls that were there. One of them was 13, saying he did stuff to her and another 12-year-old. That is who we're up against. We're up the same guy who has went bankrupt like 6 or 7 times. He bankrupted a casino when he owned casinos. And on top of all of it, he has said that just numerous things about how he would date his daughter if he could. There's a video clip going around where he's talking about a 10-year-old, said she'd be dating him in 10 years. Who talks that way about a 10-year-old? There's so many bad things about Donald Trump. And then he picks J.D. Vance as his running mate. J.D. Vance comes out and says, well, there should be a total nationwide abortion ban. And that abortion issue is only even coming up because Donald Trump overturned Roe v. Wade because of his Supreme Court picks. But that aside, J.D. Vance says there should be a total abortion ban, and with no exceptions for rape and incest. And, well, if those things do happen and the woman gets pregnant, and it doesn't matter if they're a child themselves, if they're 12 or 13 or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just inconvenient for the woman, but we shouldn't offer abortions to them because of it, because it's inconvenient. Really? That's the person you pick as your running mate. And not to mention, J.D. Vance has said that if he would have been Trump's vice president on January 6, 2021, he would have done what Mike Pence said he could not do, and what he didn't have the authority to do by the Constitution, and that was he would have overturned the will of the people and just granted Trump a second term. That's the Republican pair of candidates. Not to mention, speaking of January 6th, I don't know how I could forget, one of the impeachments was for January 6th, where Donald Trump has been accused of inciting an insurrection and trying to overthrow our government. That's who the Republicans put up. The Democrats are worrying about the wrong thing, and they're focused too much on their side. There is so much bad about the Republican pair of nominees that if they just focus on that, it should be a cakewalk to a victory in November.